republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anybody who's going to give testimony, if you'll remain standing or stand back up, I'll swear you in. Do you all swear from the testimony you give today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you. For those who've never been here before, my name is Drew Smith. I'm the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for the city. My role in these proceedings is to be an independent fact finder. I cannot change codes. I cannot give relief from the application of code. All I can do is find whether or not the code has been violated and then impose an order requiring correction of that violation. If I so find, and if that violation is not brought into compliance within the time I allow, then I can impose fines. We will proceed in the order that people are present today until we get to those cases where we don't have anybody present. So the first two cases will actually be in the order of the agenda, and clerk, you may call the first case.
Case number 2022-1661, Yolanda Negron, owner, location of violation, 1844 Dumbleton Place, St. Cloud, Florida.
Good afternoon, April Bennett, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of St. Cloud. I'm presenting this case for the property located at 1844 Dumbleton Place. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items: copy of the courtesy notice sent by regular mail, copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail, copy of the notice of violation sent by certified mail, copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail, posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail, posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of posting, evidence of mailings, the code section in violation of, copy of the deed to the property, and a copy of the cost incurred if the magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $212.14. On September 13th, during routine patrol, I observed a fence installed at this location without a permit. One photo was taken. On September 14th, I sent out a courtesy notice by regular mail to the owner of record. On October 3rd, a reinspection was performed and the violation was not corrected. I sent out a notice of violation by regular mail to the owner of record. On October 19th, a reinspection was performed and the violation was not corrected. I sent out a notice of violation by certified mail to the owner of record. On November 4th, a reinspection was performed and the violation was not corrected. On November 8th, I sent out a notice of violation by regular mail, posted the property and City Hall, and did an affidavit of posting and took 2 photos. On November 28th, a reinspection was performed and the violation was not corrected. I sent out a statement of violation and notice of hearing by certified mail, posted the property and City Hall. 2 photos were taken. On January 19th, a reinspection was performed and I was able to confirm that a permit request was submitted on December 13th and is now approved and pending pickup. She will be actually picking it up today as soon as we're done here. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of a fence being installed without proper permitting and not corrected by the time specified. The city would also request the cost incurred in bringing this case before the magistrate in the amount of $212.14 to be paid within 7 days of the written order by the special magistrate. And that concludes my case.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Negron? You can come to the podium. If you would state your name for the record for me, please.
Yolanda Negro.
And do you understand the violations that we're here on
Yes, I
today?
did. I learned it.
And do you understand what the city has asked for?
Yes, I did.
So, do you have anything you would like me to hear before I
No,
start talking? Okay. Based on what I've heard, I think there is a violation, and I
Yes.
think you now understand and agree. It sounds like as soon as you go up and pay for and pick up that permit, you will be in compliance. As you're standing here, You are not. By the time I'm drafting the order, you probably will be. So it's very likely that you will get an order in the mail that says I'm finding you in violation because I am right now. I will enter an order that conforms to that. If you've already picked up that permit, you've already done what I've told you to do in that order. If you feel uncomfortable, you can call the code enforcement officer and ask her, do I need to do anything else? But you're probably going to get an order in the mail that says you have to do this by February 6th or else. You probably will have already done it by then.
Not
okay?
at all.
I am going to find that the city is entitled to recover its costs in the amount of $212.14. The city has asked for that amount to be paid within 7 days. Do you have any hardship in paying that within 7 days?
No, I don't.
Okay. Then that is the order I will enter. I will find the respondent is in violation. Order the respondent to cure the violation by February 6th, 2023. If not brought into compliance by that date, a fine in the amount of $100 per day will run. Also order the respondent to pay the costs incurred by the city in the amount of $212.14, which amount will be due within 7 days of the date of that written order that she'll receive from me. Okay? And you can pay it any time between now and then, but that's when the clock starts to run, is when I sign that written order.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
Case number 2022-1671, Brenda Terrell, owner, location of violation 1510 17th Street, St. Cloud, Florida.
Good afternoon, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of St. Cloud. Alex Miller, I'm sorry. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items: copy of the courtesy notice sent by regular mail, copies of the notices of violation sent by regular mail, copy of the notice of violation sent by certified mail posted at the property in City Hall, copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail posted at the property in City Hall, copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of postings, evidence of mailings, copy of the code sections in violation, a copy of the deed to the property, and a copy of the cost incurred if the magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $190.64. The respondent is here and already provided with the copies of the case. On September 15, 2022, during routine patrol, I observed residential repairs and alterations to the front porch and the addition of a storage room shed in the rear side of the property were performed prior to obtaining permits. A courtesy notice was sent by regular mail to the owner on record to correct the violation within 7 working days, and 3 photos were taken. On October 6th, a reinspection was performed and verified that there was no application submitted and the property was still in violation. A notice of violation was sent by regular mail to the owner and the tenant to correct the violation within 7 working days. On October 21st, a reinspection was performed and the property was still in violation of the city codes. A notice of violation by certified mail was sent to the owner and a copy to the tenant for the violations to be corrected. On November 4, a reinspection was performed and verified that the property was still in violation. No application was submitted. I contacted the tenant, who advised that they were in the process of buying the property and they were trying to find out how to submit the application. I explained that I need to contact the building department to inquire about the requirements to obtain the permit for all the work that was performed at this location, and 7 days were provided for the violations to be corrected. On November 21st, a reinspection was performed and verified that the violation was not corrected. A notice of violation was sent by regular mail to the owner to correct the violation. On November 22nd, posted the property in City Hall. An affidavit of posting was created and 1 photo was taken of the posting. On December 12th, I verified that the property was still in violation. I contacted the owner and advised her of the violation. She stated that she is aware and already has a contractor that will be submitting the application for the work that was performed by the tenant. I explained to the owner she can obtain the permit or remove the work performed in order to come into compliance. She stated again that she has a contractor. An extension was granted for the paperwork to be submitted. On December 30th, I verified that an application was not submitted and the property was still in violation. A statement of violation and notice of hearing was sent by certified mail to the owner, and while posting the property, the tenant came to me and explained that the contractor will be submitting the paperwork for the permit for the property, posted City Hall, an affidavit of posting was created, and one photo of the posting was taken. On January 13, I verified that a permit has not been obtained and the structures have not been removed, and the property is still in violation. 3 photos were taken. It is the city's, today I check again, an application has been submitted still. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of allowing a work to be performed at this property prior to obtaining a permit by the time specified. The city will recommend that the respondent be given until March 1st, 2023, to obtain a permit or remove the structures, or a fine in the amount of $100 be assessed until compliance is met. The city will also request that the cost incurred in bringing this case before the magistrate in the amount of $190.64 to be paid within 7 days of the written order by the special magistrate. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Ms. Terrell? You would state your name and relationship to the property for me,
Yeah, good
please.
evening. My name is Melvin Torre. I'm in behalf of Brenda Terrell.
Okay. And do you understand the violation that's being presented to me today?
Yes, sir.
And what would you like me to hear?
Like she stated on the case, a contractor, which is Florida Decorating Center, Mr. Bruce, is actually taking care of a permit. Reason, I don't know why it's been taking so long to actually submit them. I will definitely get in contact with him to find out more information about it. But all the prints and architecture drawing is being done, and it's being submitted to his office. So it just a matter of waiting for them to submit the permits
Okay.
request.
So you agree with the evidence and testimony that's been
Yes,
presented
sir.
to me? You don't take any issue with that? The city has asked for March 1, 2023. You already have a contractor on board. I don't hear any reason why you shouldn't be able to meet that deadline. Do you have any concerns with that deadline?
No, not at all.
Okay. And also, the city has asked for you to pay the administrative costs, or the property owner to pay the administrative costs in the amount of $190.64 within 7 days. Is there a hardship in that amount?
No,
within the
sir.
time? Okay. I'm going to enter the order that the city has asked for, then find the respondent in violation. Order the respondent to cure the violation by March 1, 2023. If not brought in compliance by that date, a fine of $100 per day shall run until compliance is met. We'll also order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $190.64, which amount will be due within 7 days. Like you heard me tell the prior respondent, you're going to get a written order. Here's what I want you to do when you get that, or when Ms. Terrell gets that written order. I want her to contact that contractor and say, we're going to give you a copy of this order. We have a time deadline. Get our application taken care of, okay?
Certainly I
Okay.
will.
Thank you.
Case number 2022-1989, IFTPAR Holdings LLC, owner, location of violation 522 New York Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida. There's 2 on the over 50.
Good afternoon, April Bennett, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of St. Cloud. I'm presenting this case for the property located at 522 New York Avenue. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items: copy of the notice of violation sent by certified mail, copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of postings, evidence of mailings, the code section in violation of, copy of the deed to the property, a copy of the cost incurred if the magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $216.14. On November 23rd, Officer Neal and myself performed a housing inspection at this location at the request of the tenant. Several violations were noted during the inspection, and 17 photos were taken. I'm going to kind of explain these so that way they make sense. This is an area in the kitchen. The ceiling was soft. A repair had recently been done, but the ceiling was still soft in the area when we were there for the inspection. There are several light fixtures that don't have shades on them, and that's one of them. This is another one from the outside. The electrical box was not labeled, the breaker box. That's the back door of the property. The light is coming in from under the door, so it's not sealed properly. There are several electrical outlets that are missing the covers. That is a leak under the kitchen sink. The leak has, there's extensive mold underneath the cabinet, and all the cabinetry needs to be replaced. It's all damaged from the leak. Threshold to the bathroom was missing. That's a light in her hallway that didn't have anything exposed wiring. That's the bathroom. When you turn on the tub, the spout shoots off the wall at you, so it was not attached to the wall properly. That was just a damaged area in the wall. It's a crack in the wall. There's windows that one was broken. There are several windows that you can see from the outside, but you can't see them from the inside. They've been covered over. And then while we were doing the inspection, she did take us into an apartment that has been added to the property without permitting. This is the kitchen area in that apartment. That's the bathroom of the apartment. Shower stall. And then the ductwork is connected to the main house ductwork, so that's just ran over into the apartment. The light fixture outside was very loose, hanging from the wall. And that was all of those. Okay. On November 29th, I sent out a notice of violation by certified mail to the owner of record. The tenant had reached out to the property manager / realtor advising of the inspection. A gentleman by the name of Paul Chisholm called to speak to me in reference to the inspection and requested a copy of the notice sent to him via email. On December 1st, the certified mailing was signed for. On December 8th, I sent out a notice of violation by regular mail, posted the property in City Hall, did an affidavit of posting. The decision was made to post the property so soon based off information that we received that the property was on the market to be sold. 2 photos were taken. On December 21st, Mr. Chisholm emailed me with the landlord BTR that he had obtained, which cured that violation. On December 27th, Mr. Chisholm reached out stating that he was going to hire a contractor to complete the work. On January 3rd, I checked the permitting records and there was no permit that had been submitted. I sent out a statement of violation and notice of hearing, posted the property in City Hall, did an affidavit of posting, and took 2 photos. On January 5th, this certified mail was signed for. On January 10th, a contractor did reach out requesting information on the permitting process and was referred to the Building and Planning Department. On January 12th, I spoke with the tenant of the property who advised that there had been no repairs made. On January 13th, an architect did reach out to advise that he was contracted by the property owner to draft signed and sealed drawings for the apartment unit. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of allowing a residential dwelling to be lived in without proper maintenance and repairs, and failure to obtain permits for the apartment unit built at this location and not corrected by the time specified. The city would recommend the respondent be given until February 1st to correct all the violations and to obtain the proper permits, or a fine in the amount of $100 a day be assessed until compliance is met. The city would also request that the cost incurred in bringing this case before the magistrate in the amount of $216.14 be paid within 7 days of the written order by the special magistrate. And that concludes my case.
For the IPMC work, to cure the IPMC violations, are there any contracts required for any of that work?
Not for, what did we say? There was some electrical. Most of the IPMC doesn't need permitting. It's mainly the apartment unit.
Here's why I'm asking the question. You've asked for a February 1 compliance date. So is that reasonable, given the extent of the work, and if permits are required, I'm fairly certain anything that the permit is required for, they're not going to be able to get a permit to do it by February 1.
So, in talking with Melissa, I think we set the February 1st date because we had gotten notification from the property, or the tenant of the location, that somebody was at the property and did a walkthrough and had advised her that they were, that they had a cash offer.
I can give you another way of fixing that problem.
Okay.
But we're required to give them a reasonable time to cure, and if it's logically impossible to cure by February 1, I'm not going to put that date in the order.
I think the February 1st date is a decent date for the things that don't require permitting. I think we were.
But you've asked for that date for everything.
There was.
If I could, I think.
Okay.
The city's obviously looking for a finding of
Yeah,
violation.
and you know where I'm going to go with it. I'm
Exactly.
going to give you permission to record this order, so we'll get notice out there to
Correct.
anybody who's looking at this property.
I
so.
think 30 days essentially for the violations that are before you would be, from the city's perspective, more than reasonable, given what
30 is fine. February 15th I can work with, but February 1 was short. And so if the city is okay with February 15, I think I can live with that. I'm going to hear from the respondent, but February 1 seemed awful short for some of that work. Okay? All right, respondent? If you would start by stating your name and relationship to the property.
I am Paul Chisholm. I helping the owner sell the property.
Okay.
So after I got her information, I decided we got a contractor, and he looked over the whole thing. That was in December, and he was on vacation. He said, but he'll correct the problem in January. And then after January, he went a couple of times and looked at the property, but he just walked away from the job. So we're just working on it right now and getting everything together.
Okay. Is there anything that, any pictures, evidence that's been shown to me, or any testimony that's been given to me that you take issue with, or has what's been presented
No.
to me
Well,
consistent with your observations also?
Initially, we had a guy that went in there before that lady got there, and he supposedly had fixed everything. So we didn't know that was going on. So we'll have all of that fixed.
Okay, and so you heard the conversation over timing. Do you
Yes,
think
sir.
February 15th is enough time for you to get
No,
everything done?
at least the end of February. I
What
think
do
will
you
be
need more
perfect.
time to do? Because there are
Well-
some things I saw pictures of that I think you could go out and do tomorrow.
Yes, but, well, she initially said that we have to get a contractor to do everything. So, getting everything, submitting the permits and everything that would be involved in the case. So I was thinking, that would require some time. But yes, we could have gotten somebody to go out there and fix it, or get the guy to go back out there and do the work that he should have been doing in the first place. So in that case, yes, those work can be done by February 15th. But the permitting process, I don't think so.
Okay. And the city has asked for payment of $216.14, which are the city's costs that have been incurred. I will enter an order awarding those, but they've asked for that in 7 days. If there's a hardship, I will extend that time, but if there's no hardship, I will allow you
No.
to pay it in 7 days, or the respondent to pay it in 7 days. Okay, so based on the evidence testimony received, I'll find in favor of the city, find the respondent is in the violations as stated in the notice of, is in violation of the Code of Ordinances as stated in the notice of violations. I'm going to split my order a little bit. I'm going to order the respondent to cure all violations not needing building permits by February 15th, 2023.
That's fine.
Anything requiring a building permit, I will allow you until February 28th of 2023.
Okay.
So
That's-
I'll allow you those extra couple of weeks. If any of the violations are not cured within that time, a fine of $100 per day will run until compliance is met, and also will order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $216.14, which amount will be due within 7 days of the written order, within my written order. And also, finally, I will include in that order permission for the city to record it, to put notice, to give notice to any potential purchaser that there is a pending code enforcement case regarding this property. Any questions?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for
You're
coming.
Status hearing for case number 2022-1427, Richard C. Jensen, owner, location of violation, 801 Maryland Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Yes, if that's the order that we're in. Yeah, that's the order that we're in, yes. And this is one that I asked for status hearing, right, at our last
Yes, sir.
hearing? Okay.
Okay. Good afternoon. April Bennett, Code Enforcement Officer, City of St. Cloud. I'm presenting the status update to this previously presented case for the property located at 801 Maryland Avenue. At this time, let's see. So we did, on November 16th, we presented the case for this property and was advised to bring it back before the magistrate for a status update. On January 9th, Officer Howes and I completed a reinspection of the property and hand-delivered a statement of violation and notice of hearing to the record of owner. Most of the violations were cured, however, it was requested that the owner removed the blue tarps that were draped across the front of the home, making it look unsightly. The owner advised he had checked into obtaining a permit to move the fence panels from the rear corner of the house up to the front corner. The owner advised that at that time he was not able to afford the permitting cost for that. Supervisor Howes made a decision to allow the 3 fence panels to be brought up to the front without a permit being obtained. We asked if he could get that done prior to today's meeting, and he did. And I have... I'm sorry, this one's got me. So this was at our reinspection. There were 10 photos taken at that time. Those are the blue tarps across the front that we asked to be moved.
While we're looking at these photographs, help me remember what improvements have been made.
The lawn has been cleaned up. I actually have, I have photos that I'm going to give to you today as well, from ones I just took. He's made a lot of improvement. The front yard is cleaned up. The landscaping timbers have been corrected. The fence panels were moved up to the front. There are still some trailers and things out front, but they're all tagged and everything is in compliance with that. There was some fencing around this koi pond. That's been removed, and a shade tree that was over that, that's been cleaned up. So that area looks nice now. I think that was all my photos. And then I'm going to give him these. Those are the photos that we took.
So other than blue tarps, what's left?
That was it. These are the photos for today, so I think that everything is in compliance.
And what was the compliance date in my order, remind me?
December 30th.
Okay. Okay, anything else that you want me to hear? City?
Do you have any?
I'll
Oh,
ask
for me,
him.
no, no. That's it.
Mr., I'm sorry,
Jensen.
Jensen, Mr. Jensen? So you've done a lot of work out there.
Yep.
I know the city appreciates it.
I had called 3 times in between to the office, I believe it's 3 times, and got the answering machine. And then when she was finally out front, when I was home, we got the other lady to come up and explain what I needed to do. I was misunderstanding some of the things about coming here the last time. I didn't understand that I was supposed to be here. And they came back and gave me the letter with the date and time, and now I'm here.
Okay. And so I'm looking at the pictures from today. Are the blue tarps removed now?
Yes.
Okay, so everything's taken care of.
Yes, those pictures are,
Well,
he did the work
that's
over the weekend.
excellent.
Yeah.
I don't get to have this kind of case very often. You've done everything they asked you to do.
Yep.
Is there anything
Once
else
I
the
talked to
city
him in
needs from me?
person, I knew what I had to do.
Anything the city needs from me? No? Well, I appreciate you coming today. I appreciate your hard
Thank you.
work. Again, I'm sure the city does too. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
I believe on the same cases that we have people for.
I'm sorry?
I believe, I don't know what other cases we
You have your reductions.
Yeah, but then there's 2 other people. Not
Oh.
sure.
Who else do we have respondents?
Yeah.
Which cases?
Yes, sir. I have 600, Ohio.
It's 26 Hammond Way. Okay.
Case number 2022-1792, 2626 Cayman Way LLC, owner Nadine Abu Jabbar, registered agent, location of violation 600 Ohio Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Good afternoon, Pam Neal, City of St. Cloud Code Enforcement Officer. I am presenting this case for the property located at 600 Ohio Avenue. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items: copy of the notice violation, copy of the notice violation sent by certified mail, copy of the statement of violation, notice of hearing sent by certified mail, a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, evidence of mailings, copy of the deed to the property, copy of the code sections in violation, copy of the costs incurred if the special magistrate finds a respondent in violation in the amount of $244.14. And the respondent is here.
Thank you.
Okay. On October 7th, while on routine patrol, I noticed the pool water at this location was black. I took 1 photo. On October 7th, the notice violation was sent to the owner and the registered agent. On October 24th, the reinspection was performed, and the pool water was still black, and now the grass and weeds were high, and there are piles of tree debris on the entire property. I took 3 photos. On October 25th, a notice violation was sent by certified mail to the owner and in care of the registered agent. On November 15th, the reinspection was performed. The property is still in violation with all the violations, and I took 6 photos.
Can you go back one? What am I looking at in this one?
That's grass.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
On November 16th, a statement of violation, notice of hearing was sent by certified mail to the owner. On December 1st and 19th, re-inspections were performed, and the property was still in violation of all the violations. And I took 5 photos. On January 11th and 17th, re-inspections were performed, and the property is still in non-compliance. I took 4 photos. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of allowing the pool water to be unmaintained and not in a clean and sanitary condition. The grass and weeds to be above the height of 8 inches, an accumulation of tree debris in an unsightly condition at this location, and to have the pool water clean and clear, the grass and weeds mowed, and the tree debris removed by January 30th, 2023, or pay a fine of $100 a day until compliance is met. The city would like to also recover the costs incurred in bringing the case before the magistrate in the amount of $244.14 to be paid within the 7 days of the written order of the magistrate as well. And that concludes my presentation.
Property is vacant.
Yes.
Thank you. Respondent? And if you would, Mr. Kimmy, would you let me swear you in, please? If you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do,
Thank you.
yeah. So, thank you. So we purchased this
If you
prop.
state your name and
sorry.
relationship to the property for me.
Nadine Abu Jabara, owner. So we purchased the property in May. It came with a tenant. It was like a wholesale property. The tenant was supposed to leave and they didn't. We finally got them out at about end of August.
Did you have to evict them, or did you finally get them to go willingly?
I finally got them to go away. We started the process to evict them, but they left, hence all the stuff that was on the patio, which is now gone. I hired Pinch a Penny, St. Cloud. I brought the invoice in September. And actually, your pictures are proving to me that they might not be telling me the truth, because you took a picture on November 15th. On November 15th, they told me pool cleanup, green to clean. And they're supposed to be doing everything on the pool, and I've had them since September. And even now I swung by because they told me they handled it and the pool is still black. And I called them again and I'm like, you guys charged me for January. Like,
They have the
why?
right address,
Well,
right? They're
it's
not
right
doing work on
here.
somebody else's
Exactly.
property, are they?
And then same thing with the lawn guy. I've asked him, so this was the other thing. Those tenants weren't paying their water bill. So when I called Toho to get the water to get trash pickup, they told me that there was an open bill on the property and that they couldn't start my water bill. And I'm like, that's not my account, it's the previous account. So then they requested certain paperwork that I had to go to the title company to get. And it was this big runaround, and I didn't get water on till, I think, end of October for trash pickup. So that's where a bunch of the trash was picked up. Then I had a contractor there who the trash pickup people told them if you moved all the debris to the road on the side, they would pick it up. So there's 2 piles there that still haven't been picked up. And I, again, asked the guy that mows my lawn the last time he mowed if he could pick it up. Sure enough, I swung by, it's still there. So I'm personally gonna go take that and hand shovel it into the trash can. But I definitely understand all the charges. I have, been trying to get things in compliance, just everything has not been working to my advantage. But the pool, I'm gonna personally drive over to Pinch a Penny right after this meeting, because, like I said, I requested this from them to show that, I've been paying and that they're supposed to be doing everything maintenance-wise for the pool weekly. So I just don't know why it's still like that. So
Yeah,
I have to find out.
And Pinch a Penny, it's not like they're a fly-by-night.
Exactly.
That's odd. That's
Exactly.
not experience.
So that's where we are with that. But I think at this point, I've cleaned up everything. I have, biweekly lawn care. It's just this pool situation. And the letter was sent October 7th, which was, the week of Hurricane Ian. And my house was underwater. Our pond overflowed. So I just had so much going on that I literally put this letter on my fridge and said, I'll deal with it on January 18th. But I've been trying to, figure out what was going on in the meanwhile. But right now it is vacant. I'm just working on cleaning it up, to get it moved into, to get, tenants in there. But I just need some time to figure out what's going on, and I'm in full. Oh, and then there was another thing too, that I just wasn't aware of. There's a back alleyway. It's outside the fence. But my contractor told me that we're responsible. I think, I'm not sure if it was you. Yeah, so now I have that on the lawn care guy's thing is, hey, I know it doesn't look like my property, but I need that back alleyway mowed.
Grass and weeds, what's the status of the grass and weeds? Has it been mowed?
Not the last time I went there, it was not.
I have a picture that I just took
Okay, so it may have been mowed between the two times. I just wanted to make sure that if there was an issue with whoever's taking care of the lawn now, that she was aware of it, that, because I thought I'd heard you testify that it hadn't been taken, but there was a lapse of time there where it could have been taken care of after your last visit
I went there the 17th,
yesterday,
yes, and it
and
was
still hadn't
not-
been mowed?
I think I saw the picture, it showed it was
Was it
mowed.
mowed?
Yeah, I think it showed, because I got it mowed last week.
Okay, I put the property was still in non-compliance, so it was probably for the brush and the pool water,
Okay.
so.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, she's trying to get it taken care of. I just wanted to make sure if there was some discrepancy or some part that hadn't been mowed that was supposed to be mowed, that she was aware of it before she leaves today, so that she can make sure her contractors are doing what she's paying them to do. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
So, the city's asked for January 30th. Sounds like you're gonna take care of the tree debris by then. The pool, I mean, it's imperative the pinch, I mean, the condition of that pool is disturbing. And I'm sure it's disturbing to you as the
It's
owner.
disturbing that I've been paying them
So-
$105 a month, and I paid them $305, or sorry, $200 for a green to clean that I clearly never got. Thank you for taking a picture on that day.
I was
but
gonna say,
it's
if
literally
you
the
don't have
same
the
exact
photographs that
day.
code enforcement has taken, you probably should get a copy of
I
those so you
think
can
the
show those to
packet-
Pinch Penny and
yeah,
say, hey,
I will.
you're telling me one thing, these are the photographs.
Yes, no.
Okay, so I don't see a whole lot of wiggle room on January 30th, but I'm gonna ask you, do you foresee any problems on getting into compliance by that date?
I don't think so. Like I said, I'm literally gonna personally take care of the pile of debris since it's not being picked up. I just don't know what the deal is because, they're telling me they're doing it, but they're not. So if I have to get another company on it, I will.
Okay.
But I just, I went there, I'm hearing the filter running, I'm hearing the motor running, so I'm just not sure if they're skipping or going to a different property, going to somebody else's pool. I just have to find out what's going on with that. But it's pretty bad, so I know the process is gonna take, at least a week for me to figure out. If you could give me, are we January 18th? I think I should be able to do it by January 30th. If there's any wiggle room, I'd appreciate, just in case I do have to go to another company.
I'm tempted to give her another week, just in case, for that exact reason, in case she needs to find somebody else to get the job done. Okay, then I'll bump that out to, what would that be, February 6th?
7th.
February 7th, so
Sorry,
February
6th.
7th. February 6th, February 6th. So I will bump that date to February 6th for your compliance date. And any hardship in paying the $244.14 within 7 days for the costs?
That should be fine.
Okay. Okay, anything else you'd like me to hear?
That's it.
Based on the evidence testimony presented, I'll find in favor of the city, find that the respondent is in violation as stated in the notice of violation, order the respondent to cure those violations by February 6th, 2023. If not brought in compliance by that date, a fine in the amount of $100 per day shall accrue for each day thereafter until compliance is met. Also order the respondent to pay the administrative costs in the amount of $244.14 to be paid within 7 days of the date of my written order.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reduction.
Okay.
Reduction of lien over 50,000. Case number 2011-1300. Alan J. Fink, owner. Angel Buskey, tenant. Location of violation, 20 Massachusetts Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Good afternoon. Mr. Magistrate, Jack Morganson for the city of St. Cloud. Have before you a few requests before you from Mr. Fink. This one regards property at 20 Massachusetts and is a reduction of an amount exceeding 50,000, so this will go before council. But the signed proposal, which you should have before you, is to reduce the amount to $8,240.24 to be paid within 30 days, which is reduced down from $80,690.24. And Mr. Fink is here as well.
Are there any mitigating factors that I should consider in opining on this?
From the city's perspective,
I didn't know if there was any further explanation. It's fairly standard agreement. I didn't know if there was any reasoning behind the city manager's decision,
nothing, nothing unusual.
other than wanting to put the cases to bed.
Correct, yes, sir.
Understood. Do I have these, have you emailed these to me, or is first of all?
It should have been in the packet, but I
Okay,
can.
no, so it probably is. I just didn't, being sick last week, a lot of things went through the cracks. If I don't have it, I'll email you, so you don't have to send it to me. Okay. Okay, based on the approval of the city manager, I will recommend approval of the reduction on case number 2011-1300 as presented in that agreement.
Thanks, sir.
Case number 2011-1330, Alan J. Fink, owner, Charlie Miller, tenant, location of violation, 824 Massachusetts Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Magistrate. Another request for reduction, which will go before council, but the recommendation from the city, looking for your agreement and recommendation support, would be to reduce an accrued fine, which totaled $2.592, $100 million. Administrative cost $197.16. Total reduction down to a settlement recommendation of $26,151 even, to be paid within 30 days. This was a case that had some substantial multiple violations of code at $100 per code violation.
I see that.
For a considerable amount of time, and became a substantial amount. The respondent has signed along with the city manager to pass this to council with seeking the support of the magistrate.
Do we know when the property came into compliance?
Let's see.
I'm just curious how long those fines were running.
I'm going off of memory. At our prep meeting, I believe it was a 36-month or more period in which the fines ran.
Significant dollar figure.
Yes, clearly. I believe it was over 3 years, sir.
Yes, I believe so too. I don't know.
Okay. I'll take the estimate as fine. Okay, based on the agreement of the city manager and presentation by the city, I will recommend approval of the reduction in case number 2011-1330 as presented in the agreement with city manager.
Thanks, sir.
Reduction of lien under 50,000, case number 2013-1398, Alan Fink, owner, repeat, location of violation, 615 Kentucky Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida, 34769.
Different scenario on this, sir. City seeking acceptance from the magistrate of the respondent's proposal accepted by city manager to pay $170.11 to reduce a $670.11 accumulated fine and costs stemming from the case that was dealt with back in the summer of 2013. A flat fine in the amount of $500 was assessed because of the repeat nature of the violation along with the costs.
Okay. And I will approve this reduction in fine.
Sir.
Do you want to handle the other reductions, or while you're up there?
Well, we can, since I'm here, if you
Yeah.
wish, happy to do so.
That's fine, go ahead and knock them out.
Happy
It
to do
won't take
so.
long.
Sure. If you could call the next.
Case number 2022-815, Upward America Southeast Property Owner, LP, owner, repeat violation, location of violation 4291 Bull Street, St. Cloud, Florida.
Your Honor, Jack Morrison for the city. This is seeking a recommendation again onto council, seeking your support. The respondent has executed the agreement along with City Manager Miller to reduce an accrued fine of $63,500, administrative cost $295.64, for a total owed of $63,795.64, reduced down to a recommended $6,645.64 reduction to be paid within 30 days. Case was dating back to the spring, summer of 2022. Repeat violation of code, $500 per day. Fines imposed in May of 2022 until compliance was met. And that would have been, don't have it in the agreement, but with the fines running at that amount, it would have been beyond 90 days, maybe more like 120 or 150 days in terms of accumulated fines. Quick math, let's see, 5,000, 15, actually, no, 15,000 per month, a little over 4 months, maybe close to 5 months, somewhere in the 4 to 5 month range.
Okay. Anything else you want me to hear on it?
No, sir.
Okay. And based on the presentation by the city and agreement with city manager, I will recommend approval of the reduction as set forth in the agreement with city manager.
Case number 2022-1466, Samick Enterprise LLC owner, location of violation 4577-4589 13th Street, St. Cloud, Florida.
And on this one, Your Honor, Jack Morrison for the city, the amounts that accrued totaled $3,221.60. Proposed settlement agreed to by city manager and respondent for payment of $671.60 to be paid within 30 days. Case that dated back to August of last year, heard in October, and a fine of $100 a day was imposed, along with the recovery of the costs of $221.60. And with the accrual of $3,000, that's approximately 30 days of noncompliance before compliance was confirmed. So this would be your full authority to accept for us.
I will approve the reduction. I got distracted by
Sure.
language. This has probably been in the agreement every time I've looked at it, and it's in that first sentence, and I've never paid that close attention to the first sentence. But the agreement actually says that my recommendation will be forwarded to city council for final approval. Looks like there's a carryover between the under and over. You see what I'm talking about?
Right,
So it
right.
looks like they're
This is
baby stuff.
this is a different form than what we would use for this amount. It would be that,
Yeah, but it does say, I'm authorized to approve settlement for under $50,000 and will forward my recommendation to city council for final approval. There's something that's gone haywire here because this is an under 50,000, right?
right, correct, absolutely. Yeah, it's not going to go on to the
Yeah,
council.
I am the final
That is
say on
correct.
these, yeah, so, but just so that can be, pointing it out so it can be,
Yeah,
that agreement's fine. the
That
agreements
first
are-
sentence of the paragraph below, the settlement amount can be removed for this particular structured.
No, yeah, and for this one, I'm fine with it in the approval of this, just for future cases.
Okay.
just so you
Correct.
know to fix
I'll
it.
look more closely at
Could've
that,
probably
thank you.
caught that.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Case number 2022-1681, SFR Javelin Borrower LP owner, location of violation 1809 Castleton Drive, St. Cloud, Florida.
Good afternoon. April Bennett, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of St. Cloud. I'm presenting this case for the property located at 1809 Castleton Drive. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items: copies of the courtesy notice sent by regular mail, copies of the notice of violation sent by regular mail, copy of the notice of violation sent by certified mail, copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail posted at the property and City Hall, copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of postings, evidence of mailings, the code section in violation of, a copy of the deed to the property, and a copy of the cost incurred if the magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $212.78. On September 15th, during routine patrol, I observed high grass and weeds at this location. While doing the research to write up this violation, I noticed that this was a rental home without an active landlord license. On September 16th, I sent out a courtesy notice by regular mail to the owner of record, the registered agent, and the tenant. On October 6th, a reinspection was completed and the property was mowed, curing that violation. However, there was not an active landlord license. On October 7th, I sent out a notice of violation by regular mail to the owner of record and the registered agent. On October 21st, a reinspection was performed and the violation was not corrected. On October 24th, I sent out a notice of violation by certified mail to the owner of record and the registered agent. The certified mailings were signed for on October 27th by the registered agent and October 28th by the owner of record. On November 7th, the reinspection was completed and the violation was not corrected. On November 8th, I sent out a statement of violation and notice of hearing by certified mail to the owner of record, the registered agent, posted the property and City Hall, took 2 photos. The certified mailings were signed for on November 18th by the registered agent and November 21st by the owner of record. On January 12th, a reinspection was performed, and I was able to confirm that on January 11th, a landlord license was issued for this property, bringing that into compliance. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of not having a landlord license for the property at this location and not corrected by the time specified. The city would also request the cost incurred in bringing this case before the magistrate in the amount of $212.78 to be paid within 7 days of the written order by the special magistrate. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Based on the evidence testimony presented, I'll find in favor of the city, find the respondent was in violation for failure to obtain a landlord license and business tax receipt, find the respondent cured that violation before today's hearing, but after the time set, the notice of violation for cure, and order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $212.78, which amount will be due within 7 days of the date of my written order.
Thank you.
Case number 2022-1702, McKay Investments LLC, owner, location of violation 801 McKay Street, St. Cloud, Florida.
Good afternoon, I'm Melissa Howells, Code Enforcement Supervisor for the City of St. Cloud. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence a copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail, a copy of the notice of violation sent by certified mail, a copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail posted on the property and City Hall, a copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail posted on the property and City Hall, a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of postings, evidence of mailings, the code section in violation of, a copy of the deed to the property, and a copy of the costs incurred if the magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $222.14, and the respondent is not here. On September 19th, 2022, during routine
Did you want
patrol,
me to have 720 or 801?
it's supposed to be 7:20, right?
This is
801.
720, but 801 is the next case. So we can do 720. So if you're on 720, you're
Okay, yeah, it's the same owner, it's just different properties, so it's gonna be just different photos, all the same dates.
Which PowerPoint? We have 801 queued up on PowerPoint, so can we queue up the next one?
We'll just do 801 then.
Okay.
It's the same dates and everything, so, yeah. Let me just give you that one. You know what, I went by address, so I just figured it was the address first. Amount on this one, 1732. On September 19, 2022, during routine patrol, I observed high grass taken and in violation of the city code. On September the 20th, I issued a notice of violation by regular mail to the owner of record to correct the violation within 7 working days. 4th, a reinspection was performed and the violation was not corrected. On October the 5th, I sent out a notice of violation by certified mail, giving an additional 7 working days to comply. On November 1st, another inspection was performed and still not corrected. On November the 6th, or 2nd, I sent out a notice of violation by regular mail, posted the property and City Hall, an affidavit of posting, and took 5 photos showing the violation. On November 15th, the inspection was performed and the lot was not mowed and still in violation. 4 photos were taken. On December 2nd, again, in compliance, 4 more photos were taken. On December the 5th, sent out a statement of violation, notice a hearing by certified mail. I posted the property in City Hall, did an affidavit of posting, and took 3 more photos. On January the 5th, I checked the property. It was still in violation. 3 photos showing non-compliance. I checked the property again today, and the grass was still high and in violation.
From the Have you ever had a problem with properties before, this property before?
Personally, a long time ago, I did.
The deed, they've owned it since 2018, and this is the first time we've had this problem, so
Yeah.
it's a little odd.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, it's okay. It is the city's recommendation that the response be found in violation of high grass and weeds above a height of 8 inches at this location by the time specified. The city would like to give the respondent until January the 30th, 2023 to correct the violation or pay a fine in the amount of $100 a day until compliance is met. The city would also request the costs incurred in bringing the case before the magistrate in the amount of $217.32 to be paid within 7 days of the written order by the special magistrate. And there is a house, we're looking at the property, there is a brand-new house on this side, and there is a RV park on the other side that it's in between.
Based on the evidence testimony presented, I'll find in favor of the city, find the respondent is in violation as presented by the city, order the respondent to cure the violations by January 30th, 2023. If not brought into compliance by that date, a fine in the amount of $100 a day, $100 per day shall run until compliance is met. Also order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $217.32, which amount will be due within 7 days of the date of my written order.
Case number 2022-1703, McKay Investments LLC, owner, location of violation 720 McKay Street, St. Cloud, Florida.
Okay, at this time, I'm going
I have
to
it.
give you the book there. Everything is the same. Copies of the notice by certified mail, copies posted on the property, copy of the statement of violation, the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of postings, evidence of mailings, code section and violation, a copy of the deed, and this time I'm going to get the right cost, $222.14. These are going to be the same dates as well. On September 19, 2022, during routine patrol, I observed high grass and weeds on this vacant lot in violation of the city code. On September 20th, I issued a notice of violation by regular mail to the owner of record to correct within 7 working days. On October 4th, a reinspection was performed and the violation was not corrected. On October 5th, I sent out a statement of, or a notice of hearing, a notice of violation by certified mail giving an additional 7 working days. On November the 1st, another inspection was performed and still not corrected. On I am really goofing up today. On November the 2nd, I sent out a notice of violation by regular mail, posted the property and City Hall, did an affidavit of posting, and took 4 photos showing the violation. On November 15th, a reinspection was performed and the lot was not mowed and still in violation. 4 photos were taken. On December 2nd, I checked the property again and it was not in compliance. 2 photos were taken. On December the 5th, I sent out a statement of violation and notice of hearing by certified mail. I posted the property and City Hall, did an affidavit of posting, and took 4 photos. On January the 5th, 2023, I checked this property and it was still in non-compliance. 1 photo was taken. On January 12th, again, I checked the property and it was not in compliance. 2 photos were taken. I checked this property again today and the grass was still high and in violation. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of having high grass and weeds above a height of 8 inches at this location by the time specified. The city would like to give the respondent until January 30th, 2023 to correct the violation or pay a fine in the amount of $100 a day until compliance is met. The city would also request the cost incurred in bringing this case before the special magistrate in the amount of $222.14 to be paid within 7 days of the written order of the special magistrate. And that concludes my presentation.
Find in favor of the city, find the respondent is in violation. Order the respondent to cure the violation by January 30th, 2023. If not brought in compliance by that date, a fine in the amount of $100 per day will run until compliance is met. So order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $222.14 to be paid within 7 days of my written order.
Thank you.
Case number 2022-1768, Progress Residential Borrowers, 20, LLC owner, location of violation, 2962
Tickumber
Way, St. Cloud, Florida. Thank you.
Melissa House. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items: a copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail, copy of the notice of violation sent by certified mail to the owner and registered agent, copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail to the owner and registered agent posted on the property and City Hall, a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of postings, evidence of mailings, the code sections in violation of, a copy of the deed to the property, and a copy of the cost incurred if the magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $229.78, and the respondent is not here.
Thank you.
On September 26, 2022, I received a complaint that there was a fence being installed at this location. I verified that there was no permit on file. I went to the property and verified that the fence was being installed, and I took 3 photographs. On September 27th, I issued a notice of violation by regular mail to the owner of record and the name and utilities to correct the violation within 10 working days. On October 14th, I checked the permit records and no permit had been submitted. I then sent out a notice of violation by certified mail to the owner and the registered agent, giving an additional 10 working days to comply. On November the 3rd, I checked the permit records again and no permit on file. I then checked the certified mailing on the USPS website, and the mailing had not been signed for. So on November the 4th, I sent out notices by regular mail, posted the property and City Hall, did an affidavit of posting, and took a photo of the posting. On November 23rd, the property was still in violation with no permit on file. On November 28th, I sent out a statement of violation and notice of hearing by certified mail to the owner of record and registered agent. I posted the property and City Hall, did an affidavit of posting, and took 4 photos. On December the 13th, I received a call from Progress Residential wanting to know what the violation was so that she could start correcting the violation. I advised it was for putting up a fence without a prior obtaining a permit. On January the 5th, January 12th, and again today, I checked the permit records and no permits on file. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of installing a fence at this location and not obtaining a permit by the time specified. The city would like to give the respondent until January 30th to correct the violation or pay a fine in the amount of $100 a day until compliance is met. The city would also request that the cost incurred in bringing this case before the magistrate in the amount of $229.78 be paid within 7 days of the written order by the special magistrate. And that concludes my presentation.
Based on the evidence testimony presented, I'll find in favor of the city, find the respondent is in violation for installing a fence without proper permits. Order the respondent to cure the violation by January 30th, 2023. If not brought into compliance by that date, a fine in the amount of $100 per day will run until compliance is met. Order the respondent to pay the administrative costs in the amount of $229.78, which amount will be due within 7 days of the date of my written order.
Thank you.
Case number 2022-1876, oops, sorry. Case number 2022-1819, Salas Corporation, owner, location of violation, 3461 Buckingham Way, St. Cloud, Florida.
Melissa Howells again. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items: a copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail, a copy of the notice of violation sent by certified mail, copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail to the owner and by certified mail to the registered agent, posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail to the owner and registered agent, posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of postings, evidence of mailings, the code section in violation of, a copy of the deed to the property, and a copy of the cost incurred if the magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $224.78, and the respondent is not here. On October 11th, 2022, during routine patrol, I observed high grass and weeds on this vacant lot and in violation of the city code. On October the 12th, I issued a notice of violation by regular mail to the owner of record to correct the violation within 7 working days. On October 21st, the reinspection was performed and the violation was not corrected. I sent out a notice of violation by certified mail to the owner of record, giving an additional 7 working days to comply. November the 2nd, another inspection was performed and still not corrected. Both homeowners on each side of the lot approached me while I was taking photographs, advising that this was an ongoing issue and that something needed to be done. I assured them that I would be continuing with my case, and if not in compliance, the case would be forwarded to the special magistrate. 2 photos were taken. I received a call from Mr. Vasquez that same day advising that the contractor was supposed to mow the lawn on October the 27th but canceled. I gave him until November the 4th to have a lot mowed or I would be posting the property because the certified mailing had not been signed for. On November the 7th, the property was still in violation, so on November the 8th, I sent out a notice of violation by regular mail to the owner and a notice of violation by certified mail to the registered agent. I posted the property and City Hall, did an affidavit of posting, and took 4 photos. On November 18th, while I was on vacation, Officer Neal performed a reinspection for me and took 4 photos showing non-compliance. On November the 23rd, I sent out a statement of violation and notice of hearing by certified mail to the owner and registered agent. I posted the property and City Hall, did an affidavit of posting, and took 5 more photos. A small portion of the property had been mowed, but not the entire lot.
Do you think it had been mowed by a neighbor?
No, because it's strange. It was just like the right-of-way area.
Mm-hmm.
On December 29th, where am I at? What was those photos? Was that the 23rd? Yeah. On December 29th, while on vacation again, Officer Neal received a call from Mr. Vasquez on behalf of his boss. She explained that the violation had never been corrected and was scheduled to go before the magistrate in January. On January the 5th, 2023, I checked the property and took 4 more photos showing non-compliance. On January 12th, I checked the property again, and the property was still in violation. I took 2 photos. Today, I went to do an inspection. Had been mowed, putting the property into compliance.
As of today.
As of today, and it was good. They mowed it completely. Weed eated on the neighbor's fence and everything. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of having high grass and weeds above a height of 8 inches at this location by the time specified. The city would also request the cost incurred in bringing this case before the special magistrate in the amount of $224.78 be paid within 7 days of the written order by the special magistrate.
Okay, based on the evidence testimony presented, I will find in favor of the city, find that the respondent was in violation, find the respondent cured the violation as of today, which was after the time sent the notice of violation. So I will order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $224.78 within 7 days of the date of my order. And of course, any future violation can be prosecuted as a repeat violation.
Thank you, sir.
Case number 2022-1876, HRD Investments LLC owner, location of violation 4960 Bernetti Place, St. Cloud, Florida.
These overgrown grass cases, by summer, they're gonna have to get you guys goats.
I know.
Because that's what's happening to them in the winter when the grass isn't growing that fast.
Good afternoon, April Bennett, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of St. Cloud. I'm presenting this case for the property located at 4960 Bernetti Place. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items: copy of the notice of violation sent by regular mail, copy of the notice of violation sent by certified mail, copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail, posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of postings, evidence of mailings, the code section in violation of, a copy of the deed to the property, and a copy of the cost incurred if the magistrate finds the respondent in violation in the amount of $233.14. On October 24th, I received a complaint from a neighboring property in reference to the fence at this location leaning on his fence and causing damage. On October 25th, an inspection was completed and I observed high grass and weeds, multiple unsecured structures, a dilapidated fence, property not being maintained in a sanitary condition, and 16 photos were taken.
I can, so either one. What is this? Is this the drive? What am I looking at? The concrete.
That's the driveway up to the, straight ahead there's a fence underneath there that fences that off.
And off to the left of the driveway, what is that that's in the grass?
It's a telephone pole, I guess, marking the property line.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, you can proceed. Thank you.
Am I going the right way?
Go back one. I see the overgrown grass. Is there, when you get to the dilapidated structure part, point out to me what you want me to see.
Okay, this one's just showing the unsecured building. He has those 2 outbuildings, both of them are unsecured, and then that window is open on the home, the main
And
structure.
It looks like there's growth under the eave. Am I seeing that right?
Yes.
Okay.
The house behind with the blue tarp on the roof, that's the neighbor. The wooden fence belongs to Bernetti Place. It's leaning against his white PVC fence that you can see in the background, and it's causing damage. It's pushing it into his property.
How long of a run is that fence leaning up against the adjacent fence?
It
looks like
runs.
it's running pretty far.
Yeah, it runs the whole length of the property line. There are some more photos, I believe, coming up of that. This is taken from the back side of the property. They've replaced some of the wooden fence with chain link fence. They were written up before for fence maintenance, and that was their repair that they did.
Did they have permits for that? Did they need permits for that? Not part of today's violation, okay.
Yeah, and I honestly don't know if they had permits for the repair.
Okay. So, go back
Okay.
one. Is that the leaning fence that I just saw, is that the fence where it's leaning?
No,
That's a different area?
Yeah, that's a different area.
Okay.
That's
But
a
also
long-
leaning fence here too, is this
Correct.
their fence?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, on October 26th, I sent out a notice of violation by regular mail to the property owner and to the registered agent. On November 9th, a reinspection was performed, and I observed plywood on the windows of the dwelling unit. However, both accessory structures remained unsecured. There were areas of the property that were mowed, however, the grass, weeds, and vegetation still needed to be addressed. The fence did not show any signs of repair. During this inspection, I was able to observe accumulation. Also, so this was added to the case, and 6 photos were taken. So those are the areas that were mowed, and when it was mowed, I was able to see an area of accumulation that I couldn't see behind the grass, which is that.
Yeah.
On November 15th, I sent out a notice of violation by certified mail to the property owner and the registered agent. On November 18th, the certified mail was signed for. On November 28th, a reinspection was performed and the violations were not corrected. 6 photos were taken. On December 19th, the reinspection was performed and the violations were not corrected. 5 additional photos were taken. On December 20th, notice a hearing by certified mail posted property. City Hall, did an affidavit of posting, and 6 photos were taken. On January 11th, Officer House and I completed a reinspection, and the violations were not corrected. More photos were taken.
You had any correspondence from the property owner? Do they exist?
Yes, and let me do this part and then we'll
Okay.
get to that because this might answer your question. So while doing research for this property, I was able to verify that there is an active site development plan for this property that was applied for on July 7th of #22. If approved, the future use for this property is for a 14-unit strip plaza. On January 5th, I spoke with the Planning and Zoning Department that advised that the applicant needed to submit their first round of comments. January 18th, today I followed up with Planning and Zoning. As of yesterday, the owner had submitted his first round of comments to the Planning and Zoning Department, and from what I understand, they're still months out I did speak with him. He said that he needs to clean up the property, so he didn't know why it wasn't done. But that was one conversation, and I haven't heard from him since.
Okay. Well, it beats one that you can't talk.
The city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of allowing high grass and weeds in the height, over the height of 8 inches, a vacant structure to not be secured, not maintaining the fence in good repair, an accumulation of rubbish and garbage, and not maintaining the exterior property in a clean and sanitary condition at this location by the time specified. And the city would also like to request the cost incurred in bringing this case before the magistrate in the amount of $200 to be paid within 7 days. 7 days of the special magistrate. And I did see an error in my that we were going to request $100 a day if this was not corrected. Melissa, with the site development plan one, I'm sorry, I just noticed in my narrative that I didn't put in there, we were only giving them until, because this was the one with the active site development plan, but I
Oh, we didn't
left,
put it up
no,
there. I mean, I would,
or did I? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
We
that's-
did, I'm sorry, I just didn't put it on here. So
$100?
February 6th, or $100 a day.
Got it. Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
I find in favor of the city, find the respondent is in violation as set forth by the, or set forth in the notice of violation as presented by the code enforcement officer. Order the respondent to cure those violations by February 6th, 2023. If not brought into compliance by that date, a fine in the amount of $100 per day will run until compliance is met. Also order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $233.14, which amount will be due within 7 days of the date of my order, written order.
Thank you.
Case number 2022-1877, Roberto Provatola, owner, Aaron Provatola, owner, location of violation 902 Columbia Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida.
After I'm done, right? Okay. Good afternoon, Pam Neal, City of St. Cloud Code Enforcement Officer. I am presenting this case for the property located at 902 Columbia Avenue. A copy of the notice, at this time I would like to enter into evidence following items. Copy of the notice violation sent by certified mail, copy of the notice violation sent by regular mail and posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the statement of violation notice of hearing sent by certified mail and posted on the property and City Hall, copy of the affidavits of postings, copy of the PowerPoint presentation, evidence of mailings, copy of the deed to the property, copy of the code sections in violation, copy of the costs incurred if the special magistrate finds a respondent in violation in the amount of $259.14. And the respondent is not here.
Thank you.
On October 25th, 2022, I received a complaint about the condition of the property at this location. I went to verify, and the grass and weeds were high, and there was an accumulation of trash on the ground, and there is an expired permit for an AC changeout. On October 25th, a notice of violation was sent to the owner to the address on record and to the address of the violation. On November 4th and 7th, re-inspections were performed and nothing had been done. On November 7th, the owner called me, and I explained the violations, and she stated she would try to have her son correct the violations, but he did not live in this area. On November 8th, a notice violation was sent by certified mail to the owner. On November 21st, a reinspection was performed and property was still in violation, and I took 5 photos. On November 22nd, a notice violation was sent by regular mail to the owner and posted on the property and City Hall. An affidavit of posting was completed. I took 4 photos. On December 6th, the reinspection was performed, and the grass and weeds had been mowed, but the trash was not cleaned up, and nothing had been done with the permit. It was still expired. I took 2 photos. On December 8th, a statement of violation and notice of hearing was sent by certified mail to the owner and posted on the property and City Hall. An affidavit of posting was completed. And I took 3 photos. On December 19th, the reinspection was performed and the property is still in violation. I took 1 photo. On January 6th, the reinspection was performed and the property is still in violation with the expired permit. The trash and everything was corrected. On January 12th, the reinspection was performed and the property is now in compliance. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of an accumulation of miscellaneous trash, allowing high grass and weeds to be above the height of 8 inches, and a permit to expire with the work already completed at this location. The city would like to also recover the costs incurred in bringing the case before the special magistrate in the amount of $259.14 to be paid within 7 days of the written order of the magistrate as well. And one of the neighbors wanted this submitted.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Anything else from the city?
No, sir.
Based on the evidence testimony presented, I'll find in favor of the city. Find the respondent was in violation as presented in the notice of violation. Find the respondent has cured those violations prior to the hearing, but after the time set in the notice of violation for cure, and accordingly order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $259.14, which amount will be due within 7 days of the date of my written order.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 2022-2071, Manuel A. Diaz, owner, location of violation 1021 13th Street, St. Cloud, Florida.
Good afternoon. Alex Miller, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of St. Cloud. At this time, I would like to enter into evidence the following items. Copy of the notice of violation sent by certified mail, posted at the property in City Hall. Copy of the statement of violation and notice of hearing sent by certified mail, posted at the property in City Hall. Copy of the PowerPoint presentation, affidavit of postings, evidence of mailings, copy of the code sections in violation, copy of the deed to the property, and a copy of the cost incurred. The magistrate found the respondent in violation in the amount of $205.64. And the respondent here. I'd like to provide some prior history about this property. While being assigned to this, I cited this property 7 times and has never reached out to me to correct any of the violations about the property. On December 13, 2022, during routine patrol, I observed a feather flag being displayed advertising a new business at this location. I tried to find a person at the business, but no one came to the door. I also observed that an exterior entry door was replaced on the right side of the property. I verified the door was replaced prior to obtaining a permit. There was no business tax received for a landlord license because it was in delinquent status. There was no application for a business tax receipt and a certificate of use on record for the new business at this location. Later the same day, I called the tenant and explained the violations and requesting that the flag be removed and to obtain the proper permits and licenses in order to operate their business at this location. I also contacted the property manager, advisor of the violations. On December 14, a notice of violation was sent by certified mail to the owner to correct the violations within 7 working days. On December 15, I observed that the flag was removed. December 29, a reinspection was performed and verified licenses for the business were obtained, but the permit has not been issued, even though the permit was approved on 12/20/22, and the property was still in violation. An email was sent to the tenant and property manager requesting that the permit be obtained in order to close the case. On January 3rd, the verified permit was still not issued as a violation, and notice of hearing was sent by certified to the owner, posted the property in City Hall. An affidavit of posting was created, and one photo of the posting was taken. On January 9, during routine patrol, I observed a new banner was installed prior to obtaining a permit. A new case was created, and one photo was taken. The banner has been. On January 10, I verified that the permit for the outside entry was issued on January 4th. The property is now in compliance. It is the city's recommendation that the respondent be found in violation of allowing an outside entry door to be installed at this property prior to obtaining a permit by the time specified. The city will also request that the cost incurred in bringing this case before the magistrate in the amount of $205.64 to be paid within 7 days of the written order by the special magistrate. And this concludes my presentation.
Based on the evidence and testimony presented, I'll find in favor of the city, find that the respondent was in violation, cured the violation prior to today's hearing, but after the date set in the notice of violation for the cure, order the respondent to pay the administrative costs incurred by the city in the amount of $205.64, which amount will be due within 7 days of the date of my written order. What is the business they're running there?
Some kind of door installation.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
So the door installer didn't get a permit for their door?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
New business, none. Next scheduled meeting, February 15, 2023.
Anything else from the city? Okay, we are adjourned.
Thank you. So do you want me to?